Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Good morning and welcome back. We are doing text completion. So, you should know that and this I think I have already referred to or touched upon in my earlier sessions, that words that we know, sometimes when we look at them as possible choices, we become confident, okay? And this confidence may trickle into carelessness on our part. Remember that words with similar usage meaning should be looked at very carefully. If two choices seem to fit, try applying them in various situations and sentences and see what different meanings can be attributed to the words. So, now again we are looking as before at set of words, two double choices, double blanks, sorry, and let us look at the first exercise. Nor would she appreciate that he dash to know what she was really thinking on the basis of dash but incomplete evidence. Subsumes, purports, transmutes. Choice 2, set 2 is treacherous, usurious, voluminous. Look at the use of contrast markers like nor, would and but. It should tell you something. First answer is choice 1, purports. To subsume means to contain, to purport means to propose something purportedly, and to transmute means to change. It cannot fit in here. Sentence indicates that the situation is about one's thought and another's take on it. The passage itself is the clue for this easy question. Okay, the only choice is purports. Second answer is choice 2, that is voluminous. Treacherous means dangerously unstable and unpredictable. Usurious means exorbitant, and the meaning of voluminous is evident from the word large in volume. So, insufficient, incomplete information, and therefore, voluminous. It is not, you have to say use look at the use of but, and that is what I said, look at the contrast markers. This is the clue for the second part. It indicates that whatever has been said does not go with what comes next, that is incomplete. So, she did not have voluminous evidence here. Next exercise, I have always striven in my writings to express rumination, personification, trepidation, veneration and supposition for the life and lessons of our Saviour, because I feel it. Best choice is veneration, choice D. Rumination means a calm, lengthy, intent consideration. Personification means the act of attributing human characteristics to abstract ideas. We have done this word earlier also when I did death be not be proud, do not be proud. Trepidation means hesitation and a kind of alarm or dread. Veneration means a feeling of profound respect for someone or something, and supposition means a hypothesis that is taken for granted. You have to remember that Saviour is the clue here, and if it is Saviour, then you cannot have a personification or trepidation. It has to be something of a spiritual and religious nature, and therefore, veneration is the best fit. Next exercise, his own letters express the regret which he felt at the predilection, subordination, dissolution, reparation, mutation of this long and always pleasant association. Look at the word meanings of all these items or all these choices. The best choice is dissolution. Predilection is a strong liking. Subordination means the quality of obedient submissiveness. Dissolution is the termination or disintegration of a relationship. Reparation means compensation for an insult or injury, and mutation indicates a change or alteration in form or qualities. The word association acts as a clue in this particular instance, but this would still create confusion between predilection and mutation. Hence, we look for second clue, that is regret. So, dissolution is the best choice here. Look at the next set. The author has used the same winning formula of delving deeply into a crime story that had tremendous solvability, tremendous notoriety, little solvability, notorious solvability, into a crime story that had dashed its day in its day and retelling it with new resonance. The best choice is B, tremendous notoriety. The meanings of the words here do not help us beyond a point. Remember, we need to take care in choosing the answer because the words are repeated, and this is also one style in which examiners set question papers. Now, remember, since it is a crime story, you have to look at solvability, okay? And these words are quite detrimental to the nature of a crime story. Solvability may not change over time. Best choice is notoriety, the kind of plots that you have, the writer is using, the formula, tremendous notoriety. Please look at the next slide. One of the approaches used by geographers towards the use of literature in their works is to add color or texture to scientific analysis through literary description, factual explanation, constant clarification of places. Here literature is prophetic, peripheral, permeating, except insofar as it conjures up interesting images for the text. First is literary description. This is a passage because you have to look at the second blank also. In the second sentence of the given text, the word except works as the clue, which tells us that the required word for the second blank should indicate that literature is not of much use other than to conjure images. Since neither prophetic nor permeating has such meaning, the obvious answer is peripheral. Now, we have to also read the second sentence completely and make sense of the first sentence. It is clear from the passage that the geographers use literature to conjure images. Hence, the phrase literary description fits the blank better than any other word. Let us look at the next slide. Although there were efforts to ban the book for profanity. What is profanity? Bad language, a bad idea, something unacceptable or morally not very acceptable. The book has found new audience in each generation, particularly among those close to the protagonist in age who can adapt the novel to fit their own experience. Since his final years were spent as a recluse, protagonist's dream of living in the woods may have become the author's bogus, estimable eventual reality. The best choice, one adapt, ADAPT, and then second choice is eventual. First set, so many words which sound almost alike. So, we might choose the wrong word in a hurry, thinking that we know the right answer. ADEPT, adapt, means having or showing knowledge and skill. Adopt means to choose and follow, and adapt means to make fit for. So, ADAPT, adapt, is the best choice here. Eventual, the eventual retreat, the final retreat of the author into woods. So, those are the right answers. Let us look at the next set. Most of the phrases used by the protagonist, such as or something, serve no real dash, consistent, indicative, generalized linguistic function. They only give a sense of looseness of expression. Some find this habit indicative, consistent, and generalized of his tendency to dash. The best answer is first set, consistent, second is indicative, and third is generalized. Let us look at the set again. Consistent linguistic function, indicative of his tendency to generalize. Most of the phrases used by the protagonist, such as or something, serve no real, consistent, linguistic function, not indicative or not generalized. They only give a sense of looseness of expression. Some find this habit indicative because it cannot be consistent of his tendency to generalize. So, this is the way you have to do this one. Let us look at the next set. Some critics have regarded the final scene as less clear cut, but have viewed its tranquility, temperance, compunction, ambiguity, preponderance, viewed its dash as cause for complaint. Some say that the conclusion is blunted. The best choice is D, ambiguity, because you have given a clear cut clue that is less clear cut. We need a word that has a similar meaning to fill in the blanks. Tranquility is a state of peace and quiet. Preponderance means superiority in power or influence. Compunction means a feeling of deep regret, and temperance is to abstain from excess. Ambiguity means open to more than one interpretation, and this is the only word that fits in the sentence. Let us look at the next set. The old insolent resource of assailing them and making the most audaciously, intrinsically, summarily, preemptively, demonstratively wicked statements that they are politically indifferent has borne the inevitable fruit. The best answer is A, audaciously. Audacious means unrestrained by convention or propriety. Intrinsically means with respect to inherent nature. Summarily indicates without delay. Preemptive means designed or having the power to deter or prevent an anticipated situation or occurrence, and demonstrative means given to or marked by the open expression of emotion. The meanings of the choices may make it difficult, but the best answer is audaciously. Next exercise, the intolerable injustice of phasing, equivocating, imbibing, vituperating, demurring the bribe to an assembly of bribers has goaded their sense of justice beyond endurance. Intolerable injustice of vituperating. D. Phase means disturbing the composure of. You are equivocating when you are deliberately ambiguous. To imbibe means to take in, and to vituperate means to spread negative information about something. Demur means take exception to. A strong reaction is indicated in the passage because of a perceived wrong, and the only verb that would elicit such a reaction is vituperate. Equivocate, imbibe or phase do not quite apply to the situation. It is more likely to vituperate than to demur if it is an intolerable injustice. Let us look at the next exercise. The millionaire's man, rendered demure, histrionic, affable, indigent and errant by the most surprising bargain he had just made, naturally wished to retain the patronage of such a model customer, and you have to use the right word. So, rendered affable, we are looking for an adjective that can describe the millionaire's man who has the patronage of a model customer. Demure is coy, being histrionic is being melodramatic. Affable means diffusing warmth and friendliness. If somebody is indigent, he is poor enough to need help from others. Errant means straying from the accepted standards. We have done most of these words before. The millionaire's man need not be melodramatic or poor or stray. He would be rather affable, since he has already made his bargain. He did not want to lose the patronage of such a model customer. So, affable. Next exercise, the minimal interference from the leadership ensures quick decision making, which is crucial in a protean, a perfunctory, a frenetic, a spurious, a peremptory election campaign. The best choice is a frenetic, option C. We are looking for an adjective. Okay, remember, we have to look at the meanings here. Protean means taking on different forms. This is a Greek word coming from Greek mythology. Perfunctory means not thorough. Frenetic means excessively agitated. Spurious means intended to deceive, and peremptory equals not allowing contradiction or refusal, peremptory. Sentence suggests that some kind of improvement to an election campaign is desirable, except or expected. So, therefore, frenetic campaign, agitated. Look at this lengthy passage now. If she wasn't drunk before, she is now. She wiped her lips with the back of her hand and smiled, but the expression was lopsided and the focus was spilling from the bowls of her china blue eyes. Falling and fading as she was, the mask of her many attitudes began to slip, and she suddenly looked very young and vulnerable. The set of her jaw, angry, fearing and dislikable, relaxed into an expression that was surprisingly gentle, and she offered me the bottle and I accepted it, taking a sip. I held on to it for a few moments, and when she wasn't looking, I placed it on the floor beside the bed, out of her reach. She stirred her head from the pillows suddenly, her movements groggy, and glared at me with what seemed to be real. There are 4 blanks here. Please go through it, take a moment. First choice is abrasive, that is first answer. Remember, poetic means eccentric. It comes from Don Quixote, Cervantes' Don Quixote, eccentric, visionary, remember? Not sensible about practical matters, so quite an idealistic person. Reclusive means withdrawn from social circles and from society. Abrasive means someone who is brusque, disagreeable. Best choice is abrasive. She is young, vulnerable, gentle. In that case, the adjective we are looking for is not any of these things. So, abrasive is the best fit. Second set, best answer is choice 2, compassionate. Compassion is a deep awareness of and sympathy for another person's suffering. Recondite means difficult to penetrate. Something is salutary if it is beneficial to health. Therefore, we use the word salubrious climate. There is a use of the conjunction and linking word. So, the word to fill in the blank should go along with gentle and dash compassionate. Choice 3, option 3 is your option 3, discreetly. Discreet means marked by prudence and wise self-restraint. Pungent is strong and sharp. Spacious means based on pretense or deceptively. Look at the spelling, okay. Spacious is SPE, spacious is something which has a lot of space. When she wasn't looking in the is the phrase that clues us on the answer. Pungently is definitely off the mark. Between spacious and discreet, the latter is a better match, because removing the bottle is not pleasing or based on pretense. So, discreetly. Malevolence, the look of malevolence, that is the right answer. It cannot be temperance, which means abstaining from excess. Probity means having a strong moral principle. It is not to be confused with probing look, deep penetrating look. Probity means moral principles. Here is a deep look of malevolence. Malevolence is the quality of threatening evil. That is also glare of malevolence. We can infer from the whole passage that the words that we are looking for cannot be temperance or probity. Malevolence is the right answer. And let us look at the next set now. Multiple drug resistant tuberculosis is treatable, but treatment is fractious, unenviable, bunglesome, ungainly, arduous and expensive and often not effective. Very easy sentence. Treatment is dash and expensive. What does it mean? The best answer is E, arduous. Expensive and arduous. What is arduous? Arduous, after all, means difficult to accomplish, demanding lot of skill and resources and mental effort. Fractious is something that is stubbornly resistant to authority and control. Something is unenviable, because is something which is hard to deal with. You are in an unenviable position, especially causing pain and embarrassment. It is bunglesome if it is difficult to handle or manage. Ungainly is another word for bunglesome. it means lacking grace, and arduous means difficult to accomplish, demanding mental effort and skill.